the lens, ever watching.
Oh, hi, movies.
I had planned for this to be a video on Mickey 17, but after watching this series, I scrapped that script because I need to talk about Netflix's Adolescence. This show has accomplished that rare feat in modern TV. It's brought people from all walks of life together to earnestly discuss a fictional story and its non-fictional implications. Think about it. When's the last time you've seen everyone from trained professionals to your dad to galaxy brain video essayists come together to talk about something on TV that wasn't sports or news? This is even more of an accomplishment by having this not be some high-concept puzzle box with loads of special effects, but just a humble British human story, largely devoid of your typical spectacle. No gunplay or giant robots to be found here. Full spoilers incoming, by the way. I mean, it's only 4 episodes long and well worth your time, so just go watch it if you haven't already. Directed by Philip Barantini and written by Jack Thorne and Stephen Graham, who also acts in the piece, Adolescence is a unique take on the crime drama. Unlike most shows, Adolescence's 4 episodes are each made up of 4 continuous shots, each encapsulating a single hour of a single day in the aftermath of the murder of 14-year-old Katie Leonard by her 13-year-old classmate Jamie Miller. Episode 1 is appropriately set the day of Jamie's arrest and arraignment. Episode 2 takes place 3 days after the arrest, following Detective Inspector Luke Bascom and his partner, Detective Sergeant Misha Frank, investigating Jamie's school. Episode 3 takes place 7 months later, with Dr. Brianni Ariston interviewing Jamie in order to assess his psychological state. No surprises that it's less than great. The final episode is set 13 months after the event, following Jamie's father Eddie on his 50th birthday with the remaining Miller family, still dealing with the fallout of everything over a year later. Thanks in no small part to DOP Matthew Lewis, the one-take method is both mesmerizing and almost invisible as it effortlessly tracks the action from one room to another. It is no less than a pure technical marvel that is backed up with a powerful script and even more powerful performances. This one-take approach also made me reflect on something that I haven't really seen or heard other essayists comment on, what I'm gonna dub the enclipification of our lives. Cameras and video are prevalent, if not omnipresent, in the narrative. To name just a few notable examples, the police show Jamie CCTV footage of his own crime after he spent the whole episode denying it. In episode 2, we see school hallways blaring out one video or another about something vaguely related to their education, and children are caught recording TikToks on their phones in the school hallways. On top of that, Jamie's session with Dr. Ariston is recorded by a CCTV which she checks on to monitor her progress with Jamie. Jamie's dad, late in the series, has an outburst in front of a hardware store, and he is reminded by the manager that he is being recorded, yep, you guessed it, on camera. Hell, every episode of the series opens up with old photographs of the various characters taken during better days. The single-shot structure makes the shifts in the characters' personalities, or the lack thereof that we see, all the more interesting. For instance, D.I. Bascom's talks with his son sound very much unlike his conversations with Jamie and Eddie in a police car where he's giving them a crash course on the legal process.
Does any of this Instagram stuff affect you?
It's not about me.
I know. But does it, son?
Me. Mr. Miller! Mr. Miller! I will arrest you for obstruction. Please stop. Please. I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm you.
And more poignantly, Eddie, in the powerful final episode, within the stretch of an hour, goes through just about every possible human emotion. Love for his wife and daughter, and yes, his murderous son, the anger and pain at the crime that his son has committed, shock and incredulity at the support that his son continues to get, sheer rage at just about everything surrounding the crime, and finally, acceptance that maybe he could have done more, but just didn't. And we are sent away with no one easy answer for the question of, why did this happen? Once again, big credit is due Jack Thorne and Stephen Graham, who also, in top of writing and creating the series, does an amazing job portraying Eddie as this wounded soul.
How would you have felt if you were 13 and your two grown men looking at your bits?
I wasn't accused of a crime.
That's it, though, mate. Accused. He hasn't been found guilty.
These two writers have provided us with a rich, complex work that almost serves as a Rorschach test for our modern society. And what I see in those ink blots is that we, the viewer, become just another camera witnessing the lives of these people. The series structure takes great pains to remind us that these people have lives outside of what we see.
Bricks, my old arch enemy.
I thought I was your arch enemy.
I have a life outside of you, Bart.
Naming each minor or major off-camera incident could take up a whole video by itself, but it leads to what the show is aiming at. You see, so much of the series' conflicts revolve around what amount to clips. Katie is revealed to have been the victim of having sensitive photos leaked to the greater internet. Jamie is resentful because Katie left a cheeky comment on one of his Instagram photos. Single moments that would have otherwise vanished into the ether of life wind up crystallized, fester, and ultimately lead to disaster. This is inclipification at its worst. Clips forever threaten to make wholly rounded people into caricatures. Victim, victimizer, sex object, murderer, innocent children, guilty criminal, angry bastard at the hardware store, grieving father. Each of these pithy characterizations can be argued for or against from the evidence that we are given in each of these vignettes. My favorite example of this is the final segment of the series, when Eddie finally goes into Jamie's room, which has gone mostly untouched since the day of his arrest. He opens the door, and what we see is an unremarkable boy's room. You got toys, cartoon posters, a drawing of his name that was probably part of some class assignment like we all got back in the day, and also even this cool little mini arcade cabinet that I would have loved as a kid. There's nothing here that would indicate this room belonged to a killer. Nothing that insinuates the computer might have been used to type up sexually aggressive comments on some scantily clad woman's Instagram pics. And yet, all the same, this is also the room that belonged to a boy who was angry enough about not getting laid before high school that he killed a girl. A boy who all but demands love from his psychologist. The same boy who says he thinks of himself as ugly. The very same boy who has formed a not insignificant following and support on social media without so much as trying, for all we know. So, who is the real Jamie Miller?
Do you think I'm a good person? Deep down?
That's the thing. I don't think I believe in deep down. I kind of think all you are is just the things that you do.
Well, that's depressing.
It's all him. The vulnerability, the hurt, and the rage. Icons are nothing new. It's the parasocial aspect of icons that we have trouble contending with these days. What makes this all the more tragic in the context of the series is that the characters are clearly aware of the panopticon. Social media, after all, is what all of this centers around. Teachers in the second episode are frequently reminding students to put away their phones and stop recording, almost as to say, don't inclipify me.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to go to isolation? Because I can send you to isolation. No problem whatsoever. There's no phones allowed in class.
Perhaps Jamie is actually showing off how cool he can be in an effort to stave off bullies, or at the very least, give him a quiet, inclipified middle finger. Look how cool my life is, guys. Fuck off. And this is our modern panopticon at its most benign. Hanging out with friends, going to a concert, going to see some fireworks. How often have we been to some such event and borne witness to a sea of smartphone screens recording the damn thing? Maybe posting it onto social media, only to have it be seen as a 30-second story that you scroll past and never even glance at again, even on your own phone. Look, I'm guilty as charged too, so no judging here, alright? But you can't deny the absurdity of it all. And again, this is just the benign stuff. Ooh, fireworks pretty. Ooh, music pretty. If poorly recorded. No, come on, seriously guys. It'll never sound like it did at the venue, okay? It just doesn't. So we wind up creating all these little clips of life, and only sometimes do we sit and ponder how we got there. So now let's take a look at our life as a continuous whole. Without a doubt, any human being, in the course of their life, will inevitably have a moment of what someone, somewhere might call cringe. Sometimes it may actually be something that was pretty stupid. Sometimes it might be something that is painful to bring up. Sometimes it's just an honest mistake. Sometimes it was kind of funny in the moment, but maybe not worth everyone watching for all time, preserved for eternity on some Google server or another. Before the advent of social media as we know it today, a lot of this stuff could usually go away into the ether of time. It might well have left a mark, but it didn't have to come define any one person. Maybe it was just a part of figuring things out. Most of the time, we'd be fortunate enough to have it just be left in the past as mistakes or triumphs on the path to becoming whatever quote-unquote we is truly meant to be. Now, let's have a camera follow you through the day and make it for anyone to leave their 2 cents on any given moment in time for the rest of eternity. And the bullying doesn't end when you go home to mom and dad. You might get a notification with some bullshit comment or another because of something you said, did, or just the vibe you gave off that day and that moment that they saw you. The ever-present camera can make it hard to feel like you're just figuring things out. Lives become etched in pen, and nothing can remove the damn spot. To be fair, humans have always had an obsession with recording authentic, spontaneous behaviors. Suzanne Vega did it one November 18th, 1981 with Tom's Diner, where she was just writing about men and women she saw that day. And well before that, we've had painters, photographers, writers of all stripes just trying to capture the moment. But this whole need to perform at all times is kind of a new development. And I use the word perform broadly. So what's the solution for an awkward teen? Well, emulate adulthood, of course. Cartoons, toys, that's kid stuff. Even though you totally still love them because you're a flipping kid. What's adulthood? Well, it's looking at hot chicks. It's showing your bod. It's impressing the cringe cucks with how sigma and based you are. And how do you do that? Well, you make a bunch of clips showing off how awesome you are and try to file away all the fuck ups because you, sir, are no fuck up. No sirree Bob. You're perfect. The pressure cooker intensifying under the weight of a largely mundane reality. I reckon that an episode of the series set even a week before Jamie kills Katie would largely consist of him sitting at a classroom desk, maybe bantering with his mates, going home, scrolling Instagram, leaving a sketchy comment or 5 on women's photos, maybe seeing or reading something decidedly sexist, checking his notifications inordinately, followed by quietly stewing about it all before going to bed to do it all again. I have the feeling that this would match with the average viewer's day-to-day life much more than most of us would care to admit outside of an anonymous chat board. Or YouTube comment section. Please, leave a comment. Tell me how awesome your life is in case I'm wrong. Jokes aside, the sheer disconnect of a teenager's typical routine and what Jamie Miller winds up doing is almost easier to accept when we see a kid trying, desperately, horribly, and pitifully feeling like a nobody, trying to be a somebody, and still not getting it because they're 13.
Yeah, and I'm not some young kid who doesn't know anything about life. Up your ass, buddy.
And anyways, he can have all the followers and chicks in the world but still feel like a nobody because he's trying to make these clips and can't get past himself. The solution to this pain, at least in my opinion, is a radical acceptance of it all. The one glimmer of hope that we get in this modern tragedy is a subplot involving Detective Inspector Luke Bascom and his son Adam. Now Adam, in the small window of time that we get to know him, is clearly a bit detached, a bit aloof, he seems a bit shy and awkward, and he gets bullied for having a cop dad, and said cop dad assures him that he'll leave him alone while he's over at school investigating. And yet, it's also Adam who winds up giving his dad's investigation the shot in the arm it needs by filling him in on the hidden subtext of the memes being posted on the Instagram comments. In the end of the episode, following a series of hectic events, including a fire drill and a sudden chase with somebody who gave Jamie the murder weapon, D.I. Bascom approaches Adam. He manages to talk his son into grabbing a bite to eat after school.
You've got your case.
Yes, I know I've got my case. All right, it's nearly done now. I'm about to hand it over. I've got some free time. I want to spend it with you because I love you. All right?
Yeah, I can be hungry.
This is the last time we see or hear from either of these two, and we only hope that it keeps on. Will this father-son meal be just a moment? Maybe a cell phone pic you share on a screen on Instagram? Yet another clip? Or will this behavior continue down the line? Will we see Luke and Adam actually become a close father and son. The banter that we get between Adam and his father does inspire some confidence. The dad wants some chips, or french fries, I'm not British, I'm sorry. But his kid is suggesting a Chinese place. Now, the dad does give his kid some guff for it, but he does eventually go along with it because, hey, maybe his kid does know something he doesn't, and life is gonna go on anyways, so why not try something different and maybe create a bonding moment out of it? That's basically it. We cannot expect the new generation to follow us in lockstep. We also cannot let them throw themselves into absolute chaos. And we must also accept that no one is just a single moment. Thank you all for sticking with me till the end. This show really struck a chord in me the way I wasn't expecting it to. I would love to read and hear your thoughts on my thoughts. Let's have a discussion going. In any case, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And as always, peace.